Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. It is the evening of Monday, June 8th, 2026. Courts are closed in Ada County, Idaho. We've had a look at the Idaho versus Koberger docket to see if anything further has been unsealed to the public. And unfortunately, as of today, there are no new unsealed documents. You'll recall that we reported to you back on December 18th that Judge Stephen J. Hippler had ordered dozens upon dozens of documents sealed to the public for the months of January, February, and March of 2025 to be unsealed. Some with redactions, others with no redactions at all. Until last week, there was just one document that was unsealed to the public, and that happened back in February. Then last week, several more were unsealed, including the coroner's report and some documents concerning the motions in limine that were filed in February and March of last year. Motion in limine is an application for a court order seeking a ruling pre-trial, and many of the motions in limine dealt with evidence. As of today, there are still several more documents that remain sealed to the public from the group of the first quarter of 2025. Again, this is responsive to a court order December 18th, 2025, that Judge Hippler indicated they were all to be immediately unsealed. So we are unclear why it took up to last week for several of the documents to finally be released from the first quarter of 2025. We don't know why several others still remain under seal. In addition, there's no further orders from the court taking matters into 2024. What Judge Hippler has done thus far is he has entered 3 orders. The first one, June and July of 2025. The second one dealt with April and May. And then the third one, as we've stated, was January, February, and March. Thus far, there has been some documents from that time frame, January through July of 2025, that have been unsealed. Others still remain to be unsealed per the court's order. Nothing at all has been unsealed for 2024 in the case. In fact, the court hasn't even issued the order as of yet, and that's what starts the process. He'll issue an order to both sides, ask both sides for their objections or non-objections to the unsealing of a certain group of documents. The next group would be for November and December, or if he does 3 months like he did in the last order, from October, November, and December of 2024. And then that would start the process to the potential unsealing of documents. So here we are. It's almost a year since Mr. Koberger stood up in open court and pled guilty to all 5 of the very serious first-degree felonies he was to stand trial for in August of last year. Jury trial was immediately canceled when he pled guilty. And then after change of plea on July 2nd, 2025, there was a rather swift sentencing procedure just a couple of weeks later when Mr. Koberger was sentenced, and he began serving his 4-life sentence plus 10 years for that first count, the burglary count, in a penitentiary located just outside of Boise, Idaho. So questions abound. Why is this case still so sealed from the public? It was extremely sealed during the more than 2.5 years that it was active in pretrial, from December 29th, 2022 to July 23rd, 2025, on top of a gag order that was in place almost the entire case, and also the many, many hearings that were held behind closed doors out of the public. In any event, we're going to continue to monitor the docket, and we will provide you with updates as they arise. So please stay tuned to the Indie Zone. Until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.